Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with laughs, gags, and gossip. Now let's get into the mess. Hey family, welcome back to the channel, Laugh, Gags, and Gossip. And you guys, a lot of the stuff that I talk about is stuff that you guys have already heard because the stories have been, talked about earlier in the day. So I'm just saying, from now on, I'm going to call this the Broken News Network because the news has already been broke. So this is what I'm going to say. Hey, family, welcome back to the Broken News Network. Over here, we don't break the news. We just lie behind everybody else. He say, she say, they say. So if you're going to sue somebody, don't come suing us. We ain't start the lie. Let me know if you guys like it because that's basically what it is. We ain't over here breaking no news. We just talking about stuff that everybody else has been talking about since early this morning. I wish I could do it, full time, and then I would be right on top of it. But I probably wouldn't even want to break the news because it's just too risky. When you start breaking people's private business, you end up in court like TK and Kim K and the Kardashians. But anyway, you can see from the thumbnail that we're going to talk about Ray J and Kim, Dave Chappelle, and Naomi Judd. Now, one of the subscribers jumped in my comments the other day because I did a video about Naomi Judd, and she said, oh, get her name right. It's not Naomi Judds. It's Naomi Judd. And I'm like, lady, what's all the aggression for? I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe it's my Oakland accent. I don't know, but I know it's Judd, Judd. And if I said Judge, I'm sorry. Please, if you listen. Hey, Jonathan, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the family. I'm not trying to be funny, but because we're going to talk about a serious subject, this whole thing with Naomi Judd, Judd. If you have mental health issues, please get some help. If you watching videos and it just irks you to the point where you got to get violent and you want to cuss and aggression, that seems like you might need some meds and to get some therapy because YouTube should be teaching you something. I use YouTube as a source to learn things that I don't know, and I use it as a source and a form of entertainment. So anything beyond that, please go get some help. But anyway, let's talk about the first story. So Dave Chappelle. Now, I want to show you guys the video, but you guys know your girl is learning, so be patient with me. Hey, Nathan. Yes, it's been a while. Hey, Joan. Okay, Joan, I need to add you as a moderator. Let me see. I got to figure this stuff out. So I got to do okay. I got to figure out how to do it. I don't know how to do it yet. I was planning to do it today, but I'm covering for somebody at work. So I've been working all day, 12-hour days. But anyway, I'm going to figure it out. But thank you so much for coming. Please be active in the comments. Talk your ish. Let's have some fun. Okay, so so what I was trying to tell you guys is I want to show a video of Dave Chappelle. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but I don't know if it's going to work. So please bear with me. I'm going to try to see if this works. And if it don't, oh, well, then I got some more learning to do. So, okay. So let's see. Let me try to share. Let's see if it works. I'm going to see if it works. Okay, share the screen. Here we go. Share. And okay. I shared the video. Don't look like it's working. So I don't know what I did wrong. But anyway, so we can scrap that. Let me remove it. It didn't work. I got to learn some new stuff, you guys. So I'm going to stop sharing that and go back to what I was saying. Anyway, so I was just going to show you the video. I'm sure most of you guys have seen it. It's been all over Twitter where they show the guy running up on stage attacking Dave Chappelle. Now, it's being reported that Jamie Foxx and Busta Rhymes were part of the crew that came to Dave Chappelle's rescue. So the guy tackled him. And let me tell you, so it's been like little jokes. Chris Rock was there. So Chris came on stage and he said, was that Will Smith? So, he's just acting a clown, right? He's just being a fool. And then there's another caption. The meme was run up, get done up. Because did you guys see the guy's face, the young man who did this? I mean, they really did him in. And then you could see him on the stretcher. They actually had to take him off by stretcher. You could see him on the stretcher with his face kind of pummeled and bloody. It was a mess. Like, it wasn't even worth it. So when he attacked him, they said that he had a replica of a gun. It wasn't even a real gun, thank God. Because, you know, I was saying, how do you get in a venue like that with a gun? Like, I thought they pat you down. I saw that Dave Chappelle video. That was heartbreaking to watch that. And I think comedians need to have security near the stage while doing the show. That's exactly the same thing I was thinking. Where's security? I mean, okay, so we have to know that since Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, I mean, this is the new copycat thing, right? Everybody's like, oh, well, I'm going to have my 5 minutes of fame. I'm going to run up on the stage. So after the incident at the Oscars, which we know is supposed to be so pristine, you would think that they would have like security. And where, like, say, for example, you know, most of these celebrities, the comedians and everything, I thought they had like personal bodyguards and security. I mean, they have an entourage. Nobody saw this man running up there. Like, I mean, I know it happened so quickly, but you would just think that they have things prepared for that. Now, the other thing that I've always been curious about was the fact that I feel like somebody, if you're standing on a stage, right, I'm just feeling at some point, somebody gonna have a red beam and you're gonna be the target. See, that's why I would be scared to be on a stage with a bunch of people, even though they're supposed to pat you and you're not supposed to be bringing in any weapons. This man was able to sneak in. It was a replica. It was fake. But how did he get that in there? Jones says, wow, that guy sounds crazy. He had to be. Like, what is your point, sir? So No says it was a trans man. Now, Dave Chappelle was being funny about that. Now, you know, Dave Chappelle had gotten a lot of flack when he did that Netflix special and he was talking about trans people. And so that's why he made the joke that it was a trans man, because he got a lot of backlash. Remember, there was a trans woman that worked at Netflix that wanted, she started a whole little movement to get Netflix to take his special down. And I did see the comedy special and I thought it was good. I don't feel that he was homophobic. You know, it's hard for me to say that because I'm not gay. So, you know, maybe I'm not the demographic or the target audience that would feel a particular way about his comedy. But I didn't see that he said anything disparaging. He wasn't saying anything about harm them or deny them rights or anything. He was just talking about, you know, so just life is crazy. I don't care if you're black, white, trans, whatever. We all got things, and sometimes it's just funny-ish, right? And he even talked about the fact that he had developed a friendship, a very close friendship with a trans woman that was a comedian, and he allowed her to perform at one of his performances or, you know, his comedy sets. So I don't know what they were up in arms about, but, you know, so anyway, that's the reason he was trying to be funny and saying that it was a trans person, you know, one of the people that was protesting him previously. So they went on to say that, you know, the guy, it was a replica of a gun, but guess what? It was a knife in there. So even though it wasn't a gun, there was still a knife. So he could have actually done some harm and done some damage. Now, people that were there at the show, they said that when the guy knocked Dave down, that he bounced up real quick, you know, and he didn't react. Like, I don't think he was able to put hands on the guy, but he did respond. And hey, Christina E. Ola, I'm in the bushing listening. It's my bedtime. Yeah, I got to get on earlier because Joan was telling me that it was late for her. So I'm going to try to get on a little earlier. But I've been having some long days at work, so that's why I've been, you know, kind of coming on late. But hey, guys, you know what? I am on day 4 of my challenge and my commitment to myself. And the commitment was to be consistent and come on for 30 days straight. Is a 30-day challenge. Do a live for 30 days. Do the things that make you uncomfortable. And I'm doing it. Okay, Nathan says, I feel that the producers of these shows need to do something. You keep the comedian safe, right? Because every time this happens, this is I'm not laughing, y'all. Yeah, I am laughing, but not like laughing at it. This is a Chris Rock and Will Smith incident all over again. Exactly. And that's why people are going to continue to do it. I mean, they got to do something, but maybe barriers around the stage. I mean, at certain places, I mean, okay, but if you think about it, do you guys remember one time somebody was even one of Beyonce's fans was even able to pull her weave one time. So they got to do better. He's lucky. Jones said he's lucky he left on a stretcher, not a body bag. Girl, I know, right? I know, but that would be kind of rough if he had, if he had to leave in a body bag. That would be traumatic to the viewers, right? But yeah, see, you guys got me. I'm okay. I want to try to be serious. Well, not serious, but I don't want to laugh at certain things because people go, "Oh, how insensitive! You're laughing at somebody being in a body bag." But anyway. Okay, so yeah, so they got the guy. He was pummeled by Jamie Foxx, and Busta Rhymes, and so you guys pretty much know about all of that. But yeah, they're saying that this is the new trend started by Will Smith. And so I wonder how Will Smith is feeling about this. I mean, it's happened before, but I think the level of boldness and the copycat situations are going to be on the rise. And I just think unless they do something really quickly and show these people we're not going to tolerate this, it's going to continue to happen. Christina E says, LOL, party time. Exactly. But Christina, you're supposed to be going to bed. Now, see, me, after I get off of these lives laughing with you guys, okay, because it is 8:13 California time. By the time I get off of here laughing and kikiing and giggling, I can't wind down. I have to tell myself, calm down, because I think my adrenaline starts going, and I'll be like, ha ha ha. And then I get a little lightheaded and I can't sleep. So I don't know how you're gonna go to sleep if you on here laughing and kikiing with us. But anyway, old school Patricia. Hey, Missy ma'am. Thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. That is so sweet. Thank you. Christina E says it's 11:14 on the East Coast. Oh, I've been to New York. I don't know what part of the East Coast you're on, but I love New York. I want to go back. And we always love the East Coast out here because we always, like the East Coast, you guys are supposed to be so cool. California, we all laid back. But I love going to the East Coast. But yeah. Shout out to old school Patricia. Please go subscribe to her channel. She said hello to you in chat. Go subscribe to her channel. She's a up and coming YouTuber just like myself. Actually, she was one of the first people. She was a day one person and was always giving me positive shouts out. So please go check out old school Patricia and let her know that I sent you. Okay, give me a little praise, y'all. I won't pat myself on the back like I got a little juice. Okay, yeah, girl, I told him to come check you out. Y'all know I'm just being silly. Yes, Patricia, thank you again. Thank you. Christina E says, I'm in Jersey, LOL, not far from New York. I know. Oh, so you a Jersey girl. I think, isn't Wendy Williams from Jersey? Yeah, I mean, in Jersey, yeah, I see a lot of, Jersey. I hear a lot of, well, there was the Jersey Shore folks. Y'all just like New York. It's New York, so, Patricia said, "Oh, thanks. Of course, sis. We have to support each other. We really do. We really do." Okay. So anyway, what y'all think about the whole Dave Chappelle and is this a Will Smith copycat? Security needs to do better. I think we've talked about all that. That was crazy. I don't think there's anything more to say about that other than where was security. The next topic I want to talk about is Naomi Judd. Judd, ma'am. If you're out there in the bushes, if you're out there listening, I know the difference between Judd and Judge. Nathan said, oh, wow, it's 10:15 here. Oh, Lord, Nathan, you are in Chicago. Nathan. Okay, so I'm about to talk about Naomi Judd, but I got to address Nathan. Let me tell you, Nathan, the one place that I'm afraid to ever visit, I live in Oakland, okay? So the East Bay. And so people always think Oakland is so scary. It's so this, it's so that. And it is. There's some parts of Oakland that's pretty bad. But I started reading about the the gangs in Chicago, like I wasn't familiar with all that stuff. I would say around the time that Kanika Jenkins, that situation happened with her, I started doing research and learning about how much gang activity it is out there, and the unlive rate. You know, we have to be careful what we say on YouTube. So you know what I'm talking about, the red rum rate out there. And so when I go to visit my daughter, because she's in, you know, back in like Virginia. So when I go to visit her, sometimes we had a layover in Chicago. And when I tell you, one time the we got stranded. So they said you can go to a hotel or stay in the airport. I was so scared. I was like, oh Lord, no. I stayed in the hotel the whole night. Would not take the free hotel package or anything, because I've heard so many crazy stories about New York. I mean, you know, that's one place. Thanks, Patricia. Thank you. That's one place that I've always said, well, not always, but after reading about Kanika Jenkins, that ish scared the ish out of me. I mean, you know, just how she wandered into the freezer. And that's how, honestly, what encouraged me to become a YouTuber. I spent like days. I became obsessed. My family was like, oh, we're going to get you some help because you can't solve the case. I was trying to learn pen testing so that I could go in and you know, hack people's cell phones. And I know that's illegal, but I wanted to break the case and get those people responsible for her death behind bars. That's how entrenched I got in that case. So Nathan, welcome. But Chicago, I'm gonna just say that's my Chicago homie, La Familia. Woo, Chicago. Okay, back to what I was saying. Sometimes I talk too damn much, y'all. Y'all just tell me, girl, get back to the topic at hand. So Naomi Judd. See, okay, old school Patricia. Now, see, you keeping it going. I was trying to get back on topic, but you talking about, yeah, gangs are bad in Chicago. I was moving on. I was moving on. See, yeah, that story it was just, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't believe, okay, we got to do a whole nother show about Kanika. So maybe we can get together and we can talk about it. I do not believe for 2 seconds that young girl walked in that freezer and just passed out. I don't care what you gave her. You know, look, even my own bathroom door, you know, if it's closed, you got to turn it and open. You don't just fall. And those freezer doors are heavy. That's a flat out lie, in my opinion. May she rest in peace. You know, condolences to her family. But and I won't stay at a Crown Hotel. I will not. That's another hotel I will never stay at because it scares the out of me. Not gonna do it. Okay, back to Naomi Judd. So I don't know if you guys remember. I believe she passed on Saturday or over the weekend, and her daughters Ashley and Wyona came forward and they talked about it. And the first reports was that she died of mental illness, and I was like, mental illness. Like, I had never heard that to be a cause of death. You know, I've heard a lot of things, but I have never heard of that. So I was like, the first thing that came to my mind, honestly, was that it was, unlived by Suey, So I was debating it with my cousin, and she was like, no, it wasn't that. It was a mental illness, because if it was that, they would have said it. And I said, well, yeah, you're right. But so I just said, okay, whatever. So today, I think they actually released the cause of death maybe a day or two ago, but I just saw it today. And I was like, I knew it. And I'm just going to say it's so tragic because Naomi Judd, I remember my mom listened to her music, she was so pretty. I remember they used to compare her to Wyona, because remember, it was Wyona and Naomi Judd, and they were the Judds. It was the mother and daughter, and the younger sister, Ashley, was the actress. And people used to say, oh, the mom is, more attractive than the daughter. I mean, they used to be so, you know how brutal people can be, because she was slim and fit and Wyona was a little chubbier, so they used to compare them and say how young she looked. And she was a pretty woman. And so you would never, and see, here's the thing, what a person looks like on the outside doesn't really tell you what's going on the inside. You can be beautiful, you can be wealthy and rich, and just mental illness is real. And so I just thought it was so sad. And she was in her 70s. It's like you've struggled with mental illness your whole life, and you get to be 70, towards your what are supposed to be your golden years, where you enjoy your grandkids and stuff, where life shouldn't be as stressful. And you check out, it's just all so sad. So when I saw that, and let me just say, Nathan says, yeah, it's rough in Chicago, but I live in Joliet, Illinois. It's quiet out here, not like the city. Okay. I mean, of course, there are suburbs out here in California as well. People think the city is just so rough, which actually the Bay Area is really changing. But yeah, I get it. I know. But when you hear Chicago, you just go, oh Lord. Hey, Autumn's mom, welcome. Same here. I don't believe that for a minute. Yeah, that whole thing with the mental illness, I think you're talking about Naomi Judd. But so what I wanted to say is, and welcome, thank you for coming. Thank you. Actually, I can, if you want to come up and talk, you can. Oh, 82. Thank you for coming. I'm going to drop the link for anybody that wants to come. You guys know that this is kind of new to me, so please bear with me as I do it. And I'm dropping the link. I think I dropped it right. Let's see. If I didn't, AT2 gonna clown me. Okay, but I wanted to say, can you guys see it? I think the link is there. Oh, I never knew. Nathan said, "Oh, I never knew that she was related to Ashley Judd." Yes, Ashley, that was her daughter. But what I wanted to talk about is what is going on with these seemingly quote unquote successful women and men too that are unliving themselves. So we have, thank you, AT2, hit the like button. So we have Miss USA Chesley Chris. Do you guys remember earlier this year, Chesley, maybe 2 or 3 months ago? Miss USA, remember her? I'm using the little pointer on the screen. Remember, she was a correspondent. She was a lawyer. She was beautiful. She had 3 degrees, and this girl supposedly jumped off of a building, and I believe she lived on the 9th floor, but they're saying maybe off the 26th floor. It was really high, and I thought that was kind of odd. Because, okay, AT2, how do I see if somebody's in the studio? Because I can't tell if somebody's in the studio. But anyway, so she allegedly jumped off the building, and everybody was like, why? She was a correspondent on Entertainment Tonight as well. So this girl had she just had so many things that women that we strive for, from the outside. She looks to be successful. She's gorgeous. What man wouldn't want to date her? Like, why? It's the why. Okay. Autumn's mom said, I'm going to listen first, sis. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much, Autumn's mom. And anyway, that's fine, because I got to still learn how to add everybody and do stuff, and I'm not doing it right at this point. So, okay, cool. And Patricia said somebody probably pushed her. I was thinking that, but her mom came forward and said that she was struggling with, she was a high functional, she had high functioning depression. So, I mean, I don't know. That was my first thought too. I just thought it was odd. Like, I mean, we just generally just don't jump off of buildings. Like, I just can't see that. That seems so horrific. Like, this woman seems so poised and elegant. And I guess you don't understand the mind or the thoughts of somebody getting ready to do that. But I just think that there's a better way. I mean, if that's a kind way to say something like that, I don't know, a better way to say it. Adam's mom said it's the stress and pressure of today's society. Yeah, I agree, but okay. And I'm not being judgmental because, hey, excuse me, guys. I suffer with depression as well. I mean, I'll just be open and honest about it. Not crippling depression like what this young lady had, but there are just times in my life where, things are going good, and I'm like, Why are you not happy? Like, what's the problem? What's the la problema? But it's all in your head. So I do understand it. But I was raised that self unliving is a sin. So that's one of the reasons why I don't think I could ever do that. And at this point, once you become a parent, I mean, I wouldn't leave my kid like that. That's just kind of selfish. I don't know. You should see them down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't see anything at the bottom. So y'all ain't clicking that button to come and join, but it's all good. Okay, Christina E says she got fed up. Yeah, they said that she turned 30, but you're still young. 30 is a baby. You're still young. You're still pretty. You still got all these accolades. And I think they also said that she had broken up with her boyfriend maybe a year or so before. And she was like, now that I'm turning 30, what next? What next? Everything. I mean, what not next? Like, we have good days and we have bad days, but and it's just sad that nobody was there to kind of push her on. But you know and then the other reason I wanted to talk about it is because this other young lady, Kayla Posey. Now, it's this young girl here. And like I said, unfortunately, I'm not able to bring up the pictures that I want to. But she was one of the stars on the Tierra and Toddlers. And she was like a child celebrity. Now, she was 16. And apparently, maybe a couple days ago, she unlived herself. And so there was a report. The early reports was that there was some kind of incident in the park. I think it was Washington Park. So, they said, so at first it kind of came out like it was sketchy. Like, we didn't know what happened. Did somebody attack her? Of course, we're like, oh, this celebrity is in this park. What could have happened? But now I see that it was reported late yesterday, that her family confirmed that it was, self-inflicted. Again, she's only 16. Like, and you would think you again, attractive girl, you're popular, you have the fame, although we know fame sometimes ain't all that, because we see Cardi B is complaining. She's talking about God cursed her with fame. Cardi, you wanted this, you got it. Like, we are never satisfied as human beings, right? We are, no matter what God blesses us with. She said it was a curse. How about you lose the blessings, Cardi, because you can? Nathan said he's going to listen. AT2 is laughing. AT2, I don't know what you're laughing at. Facts on the good days and bad days. Exactly. Yeah, we're going to have good days and bad days. And sometimes you got to power through. And that's why, if you guys know people that are going through things, reach out to them. Be supportive. Don't. And then if you got some stuff going on, if you have some stuff going on, don't suffer in silence. I used to be embarrassed to say I had depression because, it's just people, oh, you crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's just sometimes your little mind gets a little confused and things just don't feel good. I think it's chemical. I know that some of it is self-inflicted in the sense that you need to watch what you eat, watch what you drink. There are certain behaviors that contribute to, certain things. So I know that I could do a better job to be healthier and to be more mentally better. And I'm doing a lot of that now. I'm doing all this, this psychobabble, this yoga and meditation and affirmations. And believe me, you guys, it works. I spend so much time focusing on trying to be happy. Like, life is just by default can be negative and it can be hard and rough, right? That's why I have empathy for people, because like, you just don't know what people are going through. But you really have to focus and try to stay on task. And the task at hand is being positive and happy. Okay, I added Jay, but I don't know how to put you on the screen. Hello, Jay.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I enjoy your show.
Thank you for coming up too. Now I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't have you on the screen with me because I don't know how to do it. I'm still learning this. But what's going on? What you want to talk about?
I want to talk about there's been a recent couple of situations where a lot of sisters are going down to the DR for BBLs, and are
Yeah,
losing their lives.
yeah.
And I was just wondering, what are your thoughts on the price of vanity? It's now it's starting to cost sisters their lives. I just read about a couple of sisters that went down to the DR to get BBLs, and they lost their life. And then you got like brothers, is going down there for the hair transplants and the veneers. So it's like different procedures you can go down to the DR to get, but they don't, you know, I just think that if you have underlying medical issues and you don't know about it, you can end up dead. Yeah, you're going to save a lot of money because the procedures are real cheap. Um,
Hmm.
but I know the one sister, she had already had a tummy tuck, I believe, in Mexico before she went to the DR to get her second procedure. And see, when these countries now have these surgeries that are hella cheap, where you can go and get tummy tucks and face procedures and BBLs and fat transfers. So what are your thoughts on all these sisters that's going down to the DR getting these procedures done and risking their lives for a BBL?
You know, I think I just read over the weekend that the trend is changing. So I was reading something and they were talking about Kim Kardashian because she's one of the people that has been famous for getting who kind of started this trend. I'm adding Autumn's mom. Hey, Autumn's mom.
Hi,
Um,
how you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining. So
Hi, Jake.
and so the trend, it said that the trend was kind of starting to reverse with all of the fake body parts. But in terms of you saying going to the DR and getting this cheap surgery, I totally agree with you. Like you're playing Russian roulette with your life. And the other thing is that a lot of these women are mothers. Like you cannot. I wouldn't. Would not want to be so vain, and I'm not against women getting plastic surgery, but you get what you pay for. I think K Michelle was one of the people that talked about the fact that getting all this cheap surgery, how bad it can be for you. You don't know what they're putting in your body. It's not FDA certified. So you're saving money, but you putting yourself at risk. If something happens to you over there, it's hard to get home. Who's gonna be there for you? So I don't think it's a great idea. And you're right, we are seeing that more and more women are having some dying. But I'm gonna let Autumn's mom jump in.
Okay. In reference to what you're talking about now, I know someone that literally just came back from having that surgery last week. Now, they didn't go to the DR, they went down to Miami. And before they went, I tried to talk them out of it, but they were insistent on going. They didn't get the total BBL. They literally just got the liposuction and stuff. They did all their research. They did everything they were supposed to do. They come from a family of medicine, so they knew all the risks. And yet, and still, they came home 2 weeks later and literally ended up back in the hospital with sepsis and had
Oh,
to stay there for a week and is now just getting better. So, even with all the research and all the knowledge that you could possibly have, anytime you go under the knife, I think people know you putting your life at risk, and you have to ask yourself, is it worth it or not? Now, of course, if you take your behind out the country, you opening yourself to a host of a whole bunch of other things that can go wrong. Me personally, I don't think that is worth it. Deal with whatever God gives you. But I know today's society is so different than how I grew up and how you grew up,
right.
which also is the reason why it clicked in, which goes back to the mental illness aspect in my mind. The reason we're seeing more and more of these cases now, to me, when I say society, it's also the social media pressure. See, I didn't have to worry about 1,000 people liking or commenting on my photographs, and not just my photographs, or every single thing that I do, everything I say, every this, every that. They have to worry about that if they're out there like that, i.e., these celebrities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's for us to say, be happy and get over it. That's kind of not realistic in these days because they have to deal with stuff that we didn't have to deal with, that judgment, the criticism, the ridicule, the nasty comments, this, that, and the third. Now, as far as Cardi B, yeah, of course, when you're younger people, everybody say, "Oh, well, not everybody. A lot of people might say they want to be rich and famous. See, me, I'm glad I have my money. I don't want to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
Fame for me would be a curse, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm old enough to know that because I see other people going through different things, and that would not be something that would work for me in any aspect. When Cardi had this latest meltdown, a lot of people are now saying, "Oh, you should be grateful. You should be this. You should be that." If you listen to what she said that she asked for it, yes, but if she can go back and have the money without the fame, she would ask to have the money without the fame. That makes total sense. When she was hosting that party, she said now she has anxiety. Why? Because she said that any and everything she does, people will turn it into something big and blow it up out of proportion. She was hosting the event and she's just trying to, like, I guess, move the crowd along. She made whatever joke that she made, and then she came home, went to bed, woke up in the morning to basically a shitstorm and being in trouble for her comments. And she's like, "Dad, I can't even go out and laugh and joke and have fun like normal people.
Right.
Anything I do is a problem." Like, and she's like, she's sick of it. And I see, it's so funny. Me and Cardi are so different in pretty much every thing imaginable, but I think it might be something the fact that we both were born and raised, well, born in the Bronx. We're different. We're not with people being all up in your business. We're not with people having a whole bunch of things to say. We be ready to fight. And then if you can't fight that one person and get them off your back because it's a million people, unknown people sitting behind keyboards, sitting behind this, that, and the third, you can't do anything about it. And she's young. She just wants to live her best life and she can't. So I'm scared for her. People really need to try to give her a break. She said she stopped pretty much doing a lot of things. I think that's probably why we haven't gotten any music from her. But because she did sign up to do this Playboy thing, she said the only thing she enjoys doing, well, not enjoys doing, that she was going to delete all of her social media, but she had to keep her Facebook page because of the contract she has with Playboy. And then the first time she goes out publicly, hear another, thing blows up in her face. She said she'd rather just go to the hood and hang with her regular girls and chill. She just wants to fade into the background. And I get that. I get that. Because
Yeah.
go ahead, I'll be quiet.
No, no, no. I was saying, yeah, I'm listening. No, go ahead.
Yeah, not everybody is cut out for that. And I think most of us, even if we had the opportunity to sit in their shoes, with the way that we sit around every day, and you have thousands of people telling the same story and having comments and then acting like they know you and they know everything about you and making you out to be the worst person in the world, and then talking about whether you got STDs and your husband should leave you. Can you imagine? I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't.
I know. You know what? And I see that aspect of it because when I was listening to her, I heard the audio and she said she woke up and she was in trouble. And I was like, in trouble? Who
Hmm.
are you in trouble? Like you what I mean, I understand people are gonna be judgmental because she did the line under her nose, which we know that's what they do. They do
Right,
it. I'm not saying she does it, but we
right.
know drugs are prevalent in society. We know that these parties they get outed for it all the time. So I get what she was saying. But look, I'm gonna even say it on even my own personal level. I remember a job that I had. I was younger, and when you go to orientation, the job said they told us they said you represent the organization. If you do something, even if it's on your free time, you can be terminated. So
Right.
basically, so I was thinking basically, so then the HR person, so we were like, because I think I was in my 20s at the time, like, what you mean if I'm not at work, how can I get fired if I do something while I'm not at work? Well, if you are with these corporations and these companies, you go get a DUI, you go get busted for something, they can let you go immediately. And we see that happening like with the NFL players. Like, it's like you don't even own your own life anymore.
No,
Because you represent a brand and you are money, you are a franchise.
no, trust me, I get it. That's also part of the reason why I don't show my face, because if anything, if I say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, I could lose everything.
Right. Yeah, you do have to be careful, but you know, and so then we got to go back to some degree freedom of speech. Like, are you out here promoting violence and certain things? You should be okay, because it's a big thing with this. You know, people talk about trans people, gay people, racial issues. People are entitled to not like other groups of people. It's when you are wanting to violate their rights and all those things when it becomes an issue. If you don't like black people, don't hang with them. I don't care if you don't like us, but just don't deny me my rights. Don't discriminate against me. If you don't like gay people, don't hang with them. That, you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
No, that's true. But think about it. Free speech really is not free.
oh, you're
Like,
right
Yeah,
about that.
that's
I
true.
agree. I agree. I
That's
agree.
true.
I say that
and
too. You're right.
and the reason why when she said she woke up and got in trouble, yeah, most people were like, who could you get in trouble by? That had to be her publicist calling, the manager calling, because some of her sponsors was upset. People probably wanting to pull out or, take things away from her because other people are upset at the joke that she made.
You know, but it was, again, she was the hostess, and it may have been in poor taste, but I
Hmm.
believe it was a joke. Like, you can't,
It was.
and I see why Cardi is for. I was on somebody's live earlier, and I was saying that she is, people ridicule her so much about her
Hmm.
accent, her Spanglish, you know, the way she speaks and stuff. And so now she's at the point where she gets frustrated and, you know, she's scared. She talks about it. And I understand she's being, you know, critiqued for everything. But we got to remember, though, look at Beyonce. Some of it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory.
That's true. I don't think she even realized this magnitude of what kind of celebrity she was about to embark upon. Remember, she was just going to do the rap thing to begin with. That's why she went on Love and Hip Hop. She didn't think she was going to be an international superstar or whatever. Like she said, she'd rather go back to dancing in the club, making her money in the club, than to have to make her money for everybody. I really don't think that people um would understand having that many people in your business hating on you for nothing, and putting, like, she just came off of the trial with Tasha K, had to sit through that,
Yeah.
went through all that stuff while being pregnant. Every time your husband cheat on you, you can't even get through it in private. You got a whole world weighing in on it, and then people trying to take you down and say you're not talented. And then remember, her come up came right before everyone's eyes, because on Love and Hip Hop, remember, she still had, messed up teeth, and she looked like she was a roundaway girl,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
she transformed right before us, before she had 2 cents to her name. She used to work at a grocery store. You know what I mean? You talk about somebody scratching and surviving, trying to figure out where their next meal is coming from. And the next thing you know, what she says is now she's got to be a role model for kids. She didn't have to be no role model for kids. She didn't have to do nothing but make her money. That's what she, yeah, she was just trying to do the biggest way or the best way to make the most money that she could. And I just don't think that fame was part of it. And y'all can have that fame stuff. I don't want no parts of it.
Well, you know, I think it does go back to the what Joan said earlier. What did she say? Oh, Joan, I'm sorry, girl. I wear glasses, so I thought you said, what did he say? So Cardi was hosting a show, right? It was after the Met Gala, and she was in a room full of, you know, celebrities or whatever. And she said, everybody have a good time. get your drinks or something. I can't remember verbatim. Autumn's mom, do you remember exactly what she said?
Well, it was pretty much on the lines of what you're saying. She's like, all right, we're going to go back. Everyone get your drinks. And then she took her finger and like tapped her nose and say, and your blow or whatever, and
Yeah.
let's party. And it was just a passing moment. People laughed and some people didn't. And she went on to the next. And then, like she said, she didn't think no more of it that night. By the time the morning hit, there was blogs that had, oh, Cardi B's out here telling people to do drugs. Cardi B's telling people, to go smoke and that's not what she said. And that's not what happened. And if you that she like she said, everybody else can make jokes, but when I make a joke, all of a sudden it's World War III.
But she has to. But again, also AT2 says, I think she gets bullied, but she needs a thicker skin. And I think she does need a bit of a thicker skin because you're in this position, and it's like if you have a job, it's like there's gonna be good and bad. So Cardi has to mature a little bit more, maybe, because
Mhm.
everybody's not gonna agree. I think that it was a joke, and I think they took it out of context. And she listen, Autumn's mom, they were even talking about, people were even teasing her because she said they took it out of context, and she meant to say took it out of context.
Right,
So, yeah,
right,
so they were
right,
even
right.
zeroing it. It's like Cardi is like, I can't catch a break. I just can't catch a break. And
At
I
all.
understand, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say for AT2, yeah, she does need a thicker skin, but we have to realize not everyone has one. It's not in everyone's nature to be like everyone else. And some people just are not built like that. And she's just one of those people that aren't built like that. And I wish her the best because, God forbid what's going to happen is if she does something to herself, then everybody will be sitting there doing videos about, oh, wow, that's a shame that happened, crying tears, this, that, and the third, when she's been crying out for help for I don't know how long and letting everyone know she is not mentally able to take that criticism. So wouldn't it be easier for people? Like I always tell people, like when what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So we
Mhm.
know he doesn't have a thick skin. So are we going to continue to ridicule her and ride her into the ground, or just leave her alone and go on to somebody else? It's not even a fair opponent at this time. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I'm gonna say. Now I'm gonna have to check myself publicly.
Hmm.
What AT2 says, she needs a thicker skin, and I say yes, she does. But I'm gonna be honest, you guys, and my daughter will be the first to admit to this. I don't have a thick skin at all. I'm very sensitive,
Okay.
and and if you say something about me, it will bother me. I mean, I don't like to fight with people, but I don't have a thick skin either. And and I wear my emotions on my sleeves. My mother always say, put your feelings on your dresser when you leave the house, okay? And that's just not, I'm like very sensitive, and I like everybody to get along and be happy. So I mean, I'm glad that you pointed that out, because you're right. That's not even my nature. So for me to
Hmm.
sit up here and be like, yeah, she needs to get a thick skin, I do feel that way, because I feel not to bash her, but just to say so that she can celebrate her celebrity and be happy in her own skin. That's what
That's true.
I'm saying it from that perspective.
Yeah, but I think she just wants to enjoy her money and y'all could have your celebrity. She don't want to be the spokesperson for nobody's group. She don't want you worrying about what she think and care about whatever and stay out of her business. She's not champion for any causes and she actually tries to do good where she can, but nobody talks about that. They always talk about the other stuff. I'm kind of like you, like I'm real hard on the outside but real pink and soft on the inside. I can't
Okay,
get
look.
through an episode of This Is Us without crying throughout the whole thing. I'll be like, this stupid show. Why?
Oh, so my daughter watches. Is that with it's a family, and they have a son that was adopted, and
Correct. Yeah, and
okay,
this is the last season, and it's season 6, and I think every episode of every season I've cried every time.
girl,
And then
my daughter watches that show and she cries, right? And I said, Look, one time my pastor has said, you guys listen to all these country songs and stuff and watching these shows, quit watching them if it's going to make you cry.
But you would see, for me, I don't know what's gonna make me cry. I'm literally like an empath. I feel other
Yes,
people's
I
pain.
am too.
So if you tell me a story, I don't even have to know you. I feel it. Like I'm invested that much in what the conversation or whatever. I can feel it, and I just get emotional, and that's that. Whereas my daughter, she's the opposite. She don't cry at anything. I'm like, oh, you cold hearted. She's like, well, you soft.
But
And
the world needs people like us because I'm an empath as well. Because I think it balances out. We are the ones who can be the peacekeepers and help others. Sometimes they get through those rough patches. I think you need the yin and the yang of it. But let me see. Nathan says sometimes when celebrity live that lifestyle, we don't see what they see things, but when they're on TV, they have to act and conduct themselves accordingly because they're always being watched. And that is
yes.
true too.
And that's kind of what happened with Will Smith, right? He's been for years keeping that smile on, keeping the nice guy's persona on, this, that, and the third. But if you watch his YouTube show or read his book, you saw that he was going through mental challenges and he was trying to come to the bottom of it and work through it, especially as he was writing his book. And he was saying that he had two different like entities in him. One was the one strict from his father that told him that he can't quit, and if he quit he'd die. And then he had the other part, the facade that everyone knew. And I think that night what we saw was a crescendo of everything coming to a head at one time. So again, the other people might blame his wife or this, that, and third. Mental illness is real, but at this point, I don't even, mental illness is such a vague word because I think we all suffer from some forms
Yes.
of it. Some are,
Mhm.
worse than others. But, yeah, but, and then for me, I'm noticing post pandemic, a lot of people are going through things even more so. They went through a lot of stress and anxiety, not knowing, they were scared where they were going to live and die. A lot of people lost. A lot of people. I personally know 19 people that had passed away in the heat of the pandemic.
Oh, sorry to
And
hear that. Very sorry to
thank
hear
you.
that. Yeah.
Thank you. And I know, like, even now I feel like a weirdo because I didn't want to leave my house, didn't want to be around people. That was pretty much before the pandemic, but that just was like, it worked for me because I was okay with not being around people. I was okay with not having people coming over and having big gatherings because I didn't really care for all that anyway. But a lot of other people, they were the silence and the solitude hit them different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't say, oh, well, get over it. You should be happy with yourself. Obviously, you need to reflect on your life and wonder why it is that you had such a hard time being alone with yourself. If you can't be alone with yourself, now you know why people don't want to be around you. I can't take that aspect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other people are just more social and they need to be around people to thrive and get their energy or whatever. So I don't know. I'm a prayer. I just pray for people and I
Yeah.
try to put out positive energy and also try to put myself in other people's shoes when I talk about different things just because I don't want to be that last straw that be like, oh, well, you said whatever. Now this pushed me over the edge.
Right. Jay, jump in. What weigh in on what do you think about what we're saying in terms of Cardi B? Jones says, I would think she has more fans and supporters than detractors. She needs to focus herself on the right thing so she can be happy. What do you think about that? Jay? Jay? Jay was like, okay, the lady, they just talking. I'm just now.
Jay
So,
went to the bathroom.
baby, so what you think? Jonesy is saying she has more fans, and I think and Autumn's mom, I think that too is like you're focusing on the minor. Like I get the fact that she's, I like I said, I don't got a thick skin, so I get that. But focus, like, are you zeroing in you're letting this part of it just rob you of your joy. When there's so many wonderful, look at all the travel, the money, all the positive things. If she did a comparison list, I would think, and it's just me, that it would be longer. The positives would be longer than the negatives. I don't know, from the outside looking in.
Right. From the outside looking in, the story is always going to look and sound different, right? No matter whose story you're telling. But once again, remember that girl is young. And it seems like she just entered the game, but it's the early 20s or whatever. So she's not even fully developed yet. So if you have the handful of people screaming out, and it's not just say a couple mean comments, you have people on not just blogs, but even in national newspapers talking about your downfalls, different things every day, every time you turn around. So I could see how that would get to you, because on a smaller level, just say if you cared about one person, say you care about what your mother says, or say
Mm-hmm.
your sister, and it seems like you could never do something to please that one person, right? Then it kind of takes you out of a mode. And some people that are people pleasers don't, it affects them. And, think about younger kids that are in school and they are, self-harming themselves because they get bullied or whatever. We're literally watching her get bullied in front
Yeah.
of our eyes, and no one's calling that out. I think that's a shame. She's being bullied by millions of people.
But okay, how is it? Okay. How is it being bullied? People have. You're in the public forum. People have opinions. Some people like you and some people don't. She said when she became a stripper, remember, she was insecure about her teeth, her body, remember, because she said she started getting the surgery. So I think some of it is just on her. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, is it
Okay,
being, go ahead.
let me give you my perspective on this.
Mhm.
Think about it. Back in the day, we've had celebrities since the beginning of time, right?
Mhm.
But back in the day, you might have got a magazine or whatever, you read about whatever, and we might have had opinions on what we saw, but you discussed that amongst your friends or whatever, and the celebrity never got wind of what everybody was thinking, right? So,
Okay, but remember, okay, so you make a good point. We didn't have social media to the degree that we had it, but remember when Whitney Houston, I remember reading some articles remember, okay, Autumn's mom, I know you hear Whitney. Remember when
mhm,
we used to go to the supermarket, like you go and then you got those inquirers
choirs
and
and
remember they
the
and that
stars
was
and glow. Mhm,
exactly, and that's where the celebrities were, the big stars, they didn't want remember they didn't want them to
right.
see bad things in the supermarket aisles. They would try to make sure they didn't see it. So we've always had a way that they would hear negative things. They can't
Mhm.
avoid it.
Okay, but it's a difference between just the Globe and the Star reporting on what you did, but you don't have the instant feedback of then millions of people
Yeah.
about what they read about you and what they said about you. Think about it. The celebrities they knew the story was out there, and it might they might say, oh, people might lost deals or this, that, and the third, but you wouldn't have known what millions of people were. I know. Do you ever remember commenting? You would literally have to write a letter to somebody's fan club, okay, and
Yes.
put a stamp on it and
Yes.
wait 5 to 7 days for them to get it. And then once they got it, they would then have to either decide whether to open it. But back in the day, there was fan clubs and somebody else was sitting there reading through it and sending you a
Wait.
picture back or whatever.
Autumn's mom, girl, I'm still waiting on Michael Jackson to respond to my fan
Hello.
letter that I sent to Right On Magazine back in the
And,
day.
Yes, yes,
I never got my. Remember, we used to write those letters and you
yes.
get stamps and posters and
Yes, yeah, you
oh
had to send a self-addressed stamped envelope in your envelope in order for them to reply to you.
yes,
So you
yes,
see how that's now different. So the way that we communicate with our celebrities, now people really feel as though you have the right to do and say on every topic, every time, every day, what you feel and think. Before, people was not doing that. We didn't have that much time in the day. Heck, back in the day, we didn't even use the phone like we did now. I remember
yes,
each phone call costing whatever it cost for you
right.
to make. Hold on one second.
Okay, so
I'm on the phone.
Nathan says people need to understand Cardi B used to be a rapper, so she's going to always be judged by her hardcore rap music because that gave people that kind of perception of her, that kind of light. Yeah, I think
Oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but now I disagree with you on the bullying part. I just think that some people are gonna like her and some people aren't. And I understand nobody wants to hear negativity or criticism, but I feel it goes along with the territory. So I don't look at
that's
it as bullying. Like if people, okay, now one thing, I don't know, did you hear Nicki Minaj made a comment or a lyric about after all the surgery and you still ugly, and people are saying that she was making that about Cardi B. I don't know. She never, it's the Barbs and the Barty gang. They, fight and say, oh, she meant this and she meant that. But like, some people just ain't gonna think you all that.
That's true. I mean, but think about, okay, so let's take Cardi out of it for 1 second.
Mhm.
And Christie, isn't that her name?
Who is
The
that?
other the woman that you were talking about, the
Oh,
Miss
yes,
USA.
yes, yes.
Now, she wasn't problematic. She didn't have gangster rap out there. People thought she was one of the most beautiful women in the world. She had a lot of philanthropic endeavors that she was doing, and she was an a host on E or Extra, one of the two. So her lifestyle was totally different, right?
Hmm.
But yet and still the comments, the critiques, and the social input on her life was still too much for her to take.
Yes.
Like I said, it's way too many people at one time commenting on your life. And pretty much, can you imagine waking up and having thousands of people tell you you not SHIT and this,
No,
that, and the third, and
no,
off yourself, and
no.
you this and you ugly and you that. And even if you try to close a blind eye to it, it's easy to say, well, don't read the comments or
Right.
this, that, and the third. But that's part of her job because you have, like, then they'll say, well, you have to be able to take the good with the bad and try to do better with some of the bad critiques that you get. So you kind of have to know what people are saying if that's, if you fall in line with what people are saying. And I just think it's way too much. I remember when the internet came out, I remember doing the DOS codes and all that stuff in order to
Yes.
be able to get on.
Hmm.
And way before the internet, just having a computer, it was a social experiment. And we're failing. We're failing. People can't even, do you notice people don't even look you in the eye when you're talking? Like
Yeah.
they don't even know how to look you in the eye, a lot of people, and have regular conversations. Every time you go somewhere, everybody gotta have their phone. I'm big on, I'll leave my phone behind. I don't want people to be able to track me and be able to do whatever. I'll see you when I see you. Like, I don't
Hmm.
want to be controlled by a device, but it's different. I know other people, they don't have their phone for 2 seconds, they're losing their mind. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I'm disconnected. It's
Yes.
like we're walking zombies. Like, hello, I'm over here. What are you doing?
Right. We can't even go to social events now
Ex-
without everybody being on their phone instead of engaging. I mean, if you think back to, back in the day when you would go to an event, you would be sitting at the table. You did not have any kind of phone to distract you. You were talking to your neighbor you remember those circular
yeah,
tables with 12 people? You talking to the left and the right, ignoring who you don't like. But now you can be on your cell phone, like you don't even know who's sitting beside you.
yeah. See, that's like at my house, you're not allowed to bring your cell phones to the dinner table. If we go out to eat or go somewhere, them phones go away because I'm spending my time with you. I could be doing something else. So I wish we would go out or have this time together. And now you on the phone with somebody that's not even here, not on my watch.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you know who I am and how
yeah.
busy I am? So I'm not doing that. And another thing, I like that we've gone too far when you seen those videos. I remember there was one time there was an actual plane crash
Mhm.
and they showed the plane going down and everyone trying to escape out the plane, and people literally was videotaping
Oh
them
yeah,
running from the burning plane. And
yeah.
I'm like, the last thing on my mind would be grab my phone. See?
Yeah. And they were saying, and the other thing I think they were saying, instead of people helping them, they were
Yeah.
filming versus trying to help the people.
Exactly. People always go to that. That would not even enter my mind. Just like all these different incidences happening. I said I would be the one that wouldn't have a case because I'm not going to have nothing on tape, because the last thing I'm thinking about is, oh, let me grab my phone and record this. I'm not even built mentally to do that. It's to get in and handle whatever's taking place, not to record it for the gram or for this or for that.
Well,
That would be the last thing on my mind.
thank God somebody was there recording George Floyd, though. I mean, there are
Mhm.
instances when it does come in handy. Okay, Autumn's mom, let's switch gears and let's talk about the story everybody's been talking about today: Ray J versus Kim Kardashian, and Ray J exposing Kim in a possible defamation lawsuit.
Okay.
What you think about that? All these years, and oh, we talked about this earlier. Yeah, you were. I think you and I both came up, but this is just too much. Just the fact that all these years they've had this narrative, and the fact that Kim, for their show, that they would lie like that. I mean, we know that reality is not reality, but
Mhm.
for them to defame this man and for her to try, make up this fake narrative storyline, I can't believe it. It's shocking. It's really
Not to
shocking.
me. I assumed everything was a lie. I
Did you?
assumed I did. That's why I'm shocked that everyone else is shocked. I'm like, why is this breaking news? Who still thought that it went down the way that they said that it went down? They even okay. They even before Ray J came out this week, take it back last week when they was in court with China. They even then was trying to say that some of the stuff that was on the show wasn't real. We
Right.
know that they set up these scenes. First of all, that whole scene with her son finding whatever he found on the laptop, that's a lie.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't believe
cat.
that.
Yeah, first of all, on that kid app that he had, you're not going to see her quote unquote crying face picture come up on that kid app. That's not going to happen. Two, um, if you were so worried about it and you thought that it was this, that, and the third, why would you make it a storyline on your show that your kids
Exactly.
watch that
Right.
now he's going to be able to go back on and no, I'm sure they're going to she's going to have that talk with her kids. They don't seem to act, they want us to think that they care. She don't care. She
But
really don't care.
Adam's law, but now let's think about this other one. Okay, Anna Nicole. Do you remember Anna Nicole?
Yes.
Now I'm just being honest. I remember being at work and I cried when I heard Anna Nicole die, only because it was so tragic to me. And then when her son died,
Yes.
but
Hmm.
yeah, because her son had died and everything, and she had the baby. And I remember being on the elevator and they had like a little flash and they said Anna Nicole passes away. And I just was like, life is so hard. I don't understand. I was at work, right? This woman is wealthy. She died, and it just made me cry. But what I'm going to say is, remember, Anna Nicole would be nude, and her son saw her pictures. She talked
Mhm,
about it. So
mhm.
I don't even feel that Kim, to be honest, if you were that concerned about it, you probably wouldn't do it. I'm just saying. You know,
She hasn't stopped, really. I mean, she's not doing sex scenes anymore, but every magazine shoot she has, she's topless or darn near nude. The like majority of the covers that she's on, she don't have no clothes on.
right.
Okay, so what's the difference? What's the difference? They showed on another YouTuber's channel, went back and reminded us of scene one, episode one of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And they had Kylie and Kendall, and I think they were like anywhere between 9 and 11 years old, swinging around the stripper pole.
Stripper
Yeah,
pole. I
that they
remember.
had in the,
Yes,
yeah, talking about
yes,
girls going wild, girls going wild. So yeah,
yes.
Chris is a madam, and she just happened to birth all of her tricks. That's
Well,
the difference.
do you think that she groomed her girls? I mean, okay, now
Yes,
that we see that,
yes, yes, yes. Hands down, hard stop. Yes,
so you don't think it's by happenstance, like, okay, because of this tape, you know, because apparently Kim wanted to do the tape, or she wanted to do the whole Paris Hilton thing because, you know, it made Paris Hilton, although Paris was already wealthy, but it, you know, kind of put her in pop culture. So you don't think it's by happenstance? You think that Chris groomed the girls to
yes.
be
Yes. Yes. I think it started with, well, for one, she was in that circle, so she had access to different wealthy men, just like her mother. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's not act like her mother wasn't hopping from one bed to the next. Okay. So she learned from the best of them. So she got with Ray J. Paris happened, this is my opinion.
Mhm.
Paris happened to have her tape out there. She saw what it did for Paris's career. Her and Ray J probably sat there and talked, or maybe she talked about it with Paris. And then I'm sure before anything was done, she talked to her mother about it. Because think about it. Back in the day, making a sex tape was much harder than it is now. You
Oh yeah.
literally had to set up a VCR. I mean, not a VCR, a camcorder, put a big tape in the camcorder, get the lighting straight, and this, that, and the third. Well, I'm telling too much. But anyway,
Look, I don't even know, girl.
I'm like, it was way too much for it to be. You didn't. That was not a mistake. That
Okay.
was not a mistake. There's no way in the world you had to do way too much to make a sex tape back in the day, and then even to make a copy of the tape once you had one tape was a whole nother production in itself.
Joan, tell us, for said persons, we know it's not you, but wouldn't the persons participating in these video recordings be concerned that it could be outed if you break up with the other party in the video?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why it was always told in my generation, you
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't do
Exactly. Don't do it. But let's just say if you're in a committed relationship, i.e. married,
it. Right.
and that's something that y'all wanted to do and you want to go back and critique your work.
Oh, it's for educational purposes. I like
Exactly.
that.
For educational purposes only, it would be something fun to do. But then what you would do is either then erase it in front of one another, you know what I mean, and destroy it, but nobody would be walking away with that tape. You know what I mean? That's what they got fired for. You burn certain things.
Right. You're not walking away alive with this tape.
Exactly.
I remember
Exactly.
I had a girlfriend, because we were younger, and she took, it wasn't even a tape. She took some remember when they had those them, you know, instant Kodak, I forget what they're
A
called.
Polaroid.
Polaroid, right.
Yes.
She took some
Hmm.
Polaroids, and she was nude, and her boyfriend got the photos and started showing the family. And
Hmm.
I remember how like everybody, it was like, oh my God, what kind of girl? Ooh, she was talked about so bad. And look at what girls are doing now on IG, half naked. And that was
Listen.
bad back in the day, you know, just some
No,
pictures, Polaroids.
listen, I know I look, I'm about to tell some more of my business, but Been there, done there, got the t-shirt, but you live, you learn, and you know what and what not to do. But even then, like I said, you would take a picture. The most that we would do is say you have on like a maid costume or something cute or whatever,
Mhm.
something like that. But getting butt behind naked, no, no, nobody was doing all that.
Yeah.
Nobody was doing all that. Not we used to say don't put nothing in writing you don't want nobody to know about, and you can't escape the tape. Those are
Right. But
those
I know
are
you can
words to live by,
look.
okay?
I mean, look, R. Kelly is still trying to deny that they was him in that tape, right?
Hello, and you see, it finally caught up to him. If you might get away with it for a little while, but eventually, what you do in the dark comes to light. So the best way to avoid those situations is not to do it to begin with. Now, can I ask you a question? Because I see you had talked about Dave Chappelle.
Hmm.
W- Do you think I hear everybody's perspective on that, and I just don't understand why they keep making it seem like all of this is because of Will Smith. Like this guy literally didn't run up there because of a joke that Dave said. This guy was just crazy and ran up there. And let's not act like people don't do dumb stuff every day. And if anything, this is the best thing that could have happened because this was the poster of run up and get done up. You know what I mean? Or punks jump up to get beat down. So people probably will think second and third times. He was definitely out of his mind. This thing was the start of the what do they call it? The Dave and Buster tour with him and Buster Rhymes. So you had a whole bunch of rap heads up in there, this, that, and the third. So of course, that's why he walked away all lumped up and
Right.
discombobulated because he wasn't just dealing with security, he was dealing with real people.
Good night, Patricia. Have a good one, Patricia Pisano. Good night. So you said, do I think it was because of Will Smith? I don't I think the person was probably have has some issues, but I think that, like anything else, a copycat, when something gets so much publicity,
Mm-hmm.
with that, because that went viral, I think that you got people who are a little bit tilted. They see
Mm-hmm.
that and it's like, okay, this is my moment. I mean, like a stand. You remember that Eminem video, and then they get obsessed with it. Look, I was obsessed with you know the the young lady in the freezer,
Right.
Kanika.
Kanika
Yeah,
Jenkins,
I
yes.
was
Mm-hmm.
obsessed. That kind of took over my life for a minute. So
Me too.
some
That's how I
people,
got on YouTube myself. I saw someone in
yeah.
the comments right there. I didn't know nothing about YouTube, but I heard about that story and I wanted to know more and more and more because it was odd to me. Because once
Yes.
again, there was codes we had. One
Mhm.
was you don't go somewhere and leave people behind. I didn't understand how her friends left her in the hallway for not even 20 seconds or a minute, whatever it was, and went inside. Everybody got to go inside and get the keys and the phone, and the girl is twisted. No, see, I
Yeah.
always was the mama bear of our group. They
Mhm.
knew we all leaving together, we coming back together. You know what I mean? Because what I'm not going to do is tell your mother that something happened to you on my watch.
Right.
Ain't no way.
Right. So my daughter, she's in her she graduates Sunday, and so she's having all her senior parties and everything. And that's the one thing I said, you guys going out partying, having a good time, you stick together. Nobody gets left behind, because these
Hmm.
young people drink. You, of course, as parents, we don't want them to do it, but when they 21, they do. You do not allow your friends to just be stumbling around drunk. I don't even know how they did that.
Yeah. No, that's why I said that's what intrigued me why I couldn't turn it off because it was so much that did not make sense in that whole narrative. Now, I done been to hotel parties. We done had, parties, this, that, and the third. But first of all, once again, there's rules to stuff. One
Yeah.
of the rules is you don't drink nothing you didn't see poured. When we just start drinking random cups that was passed around, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just a lot of stuff. But like you said, we gotta teach our children that this world is wicked, and that even the things we didn't have to worry about, they have to worry about now. It's unfortunate. Did your daughter enjoy her yacht today?
Yeah, the yacht party was last night. She had such a great time. It's almost every day they're doing something. I think they did a rodeo and they're doing some kind of a brunch. And I'm, of course, I'm still a mom. I'm like, please get some rest, get some sleep. She's like, Mom, we're done with school. We're gonna have a good time, but they're
Yeah.
young. They just out there. I
I
don't know what's
remember them days. My motto when I was young used to be like, "Oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I'll sleep when I'm dead." Now I'm like,
See, I was a square. I was a square. I wasn't no party girl. I didn't even party that much. I just wasn't a very social person. I'm shy.
Really?
Yeah, like even that's another thing. Like even getting on here doing lives is a challenge for me because it's not necessarily my personality. Like once I get to
Mm-hmm.
know people, I can be up and out. But for the most part, I'm an only child, so I'm pretty much an introvert. That's how I see it.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But it's fun talking to you guys and everything. It's kind of getting me out of my comfort zone. I like that.
No,
And I
I get it.
am, huh?
No, I know. I said I get it. For me, I was saying before that the reason I come on, to me, this is my water cooler talk. You know how back
Yes,
in the day, if you work in the office, you would always have people to bounce different things off of, see things you saw on TV or read in the newspaper, or whatever. Well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? And it gives a broader perspective. So a lot of people are like, oh, do you have a channel? No, and don't have any desire to have one. And honestly, if I did one, it wouldn't be in any of this realm. I probably would do a cooking show because I
hmm
couldn't talk about, you know, current events on this level, like you guys do it. One, I know you guys have to do a lot of research and this, that,
right.
and the third. Plus, I know me. What I like today is not what I like tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be consistent. And I get tired of talk. It's so funny. If I feel like I'm living a double life when I come on here, I really do. I
Me
really do.
too. Me too.
Because people that know me, to hear me talk this much, they've been like, I never heard you say that much at one time. I don't like talking. I
Uh-huh.
don't, and I had to come to the realization because I thought about that the other day. I said, for somebody that don't like talking, you damn sure be on this internet running your mouth, right? And I said,
But
well, no, I don't like talking about things I don't care about.
But see, for
So,
me, this is fun because I've
yes.
always liked pop culture. Like I said, those Right On magazines. When I was a little
Hmm.
girl, I lived in all of those. Those Right Ons. I can't
Yes.
remember all of them.
Word up.
Yeah,
Word
word
up.
up.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah, I
And
know. I'm there with
and
you.
and then it's like I'm always wanting to talk about, like at my job, people just aren't interested in this. So it's not,
Hmm.
they want to talk about work. And I'll be in a meeting like, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. I want to talk
Hmm.
about what Cardi B said yesterday,
Right.
And they'll look at
Right.
me like, oh my God, what are you talking? Like, what? What? So this is a great outlet for me to talk about
Hmm.
things because I love pop culture. It's
No,
just, I don't know why. I really don't even know why. But
that,
it's just, I don't know.
see, I like pop culture, but I also like current events. I love
Yes.
I love news and stuff like that. I like to learn, and I
Yes.
love to get other people's perspective, because once you think you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find another room to go into. So I love to
Exactly.
talk to people that challenge my thinking and give me different perspectives on different things, you know? So I enjoy that.
And
But
you know
yeah.
what, Joan? Another thing, not Joan. I'm looking at Jones. You know what, Autumn's mom is the fact that I don't like to gossip about my friends and stuff, like
Yeah.
people close to me. So, like a lot of some of the girl circles, they will be talking about everybody's business, and I'm just talking about celebrity gossip. So that's another thing. So, when people, it's like I'm not gonna partake in that. If you and I break bread together, I'm just not gonna talk about you, and I'm not gonna talk about you behind your back. And when we with the other girls, that's just not something I do. So for me, I will talk about celebrity stuff, and I'm just not the one to gossip about my folks.
That I get it. And see, I guess that's also why I kind of take the stance that I take, because in my real life, I know so many celebrities on personal levels
Oh
that,
wow. Mhm.
yeah. So for me, they're just regular people. I know them by their real names, this, that, and third. They come to my house. We do whatever. So when I hear people's perspective, I'm like, how did you come up with that? Like,
Mhm.
where did that come from? This, that, and third.
Mhm.
I'm just be listening. And most of the time, people be way off.
Off base.
Way, yeah, way off. And I just be sitting here like, wow. And not that I know everybody that people are talking about, every day, but I
Right.
can just imagine from the ones that I do know, the perspectives that I hear and how far off that they are, that I'm like, wow. And that's also why I take that thing with, nah, just give me my money. I don't want the thing because I see what they have to go through. And
Yeah. Now,
I'd be
now
windmilling and wouldn't be able to get no sleep.
you're from the Bronx. Tell us the famous people, because I know, like, I can just think of off the top of my head, like, I'm thinking Foxy Brown, Jay-Z. Tell us people from the Bronx that are celebrities now. Like,
Okay, well, I was born in the Bronx, but I moved from the Bronx when I was 6 years old.
okay,
So I'm not repping the Bronx. We then
okay,
moved to Queens. I know more people from Queens and stuff, but as far as from the Bronx, Remy Ma grew up around where my grandmother was from, Castle Hill Projects,
okay.
and J Lo, of course, and Fat Joe, and you have the whole Terror Squad. You have out, are you just talking music or are you talking
Just
entertainment
in
wise?
general, yeah, entertainment.
Okay. Now, if we come to Queens now. In Queens, that was everybody and their mama, from Noriega to what's his name? Kenny Anderson, that played for the Nets. We
Mhm.
had Mob Deep, from Prodigy. But Prodigy, I went to school with him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, he literally was in my fourth grade class.
uh,
Nori Noriega, I used to walk him home from school. You know what I mean?
really?
So
Do you still
yeah.
do you
So
still talk to these people? Like, do you guys keep in touch, or
well,
you know?
unfortunately Prodigy passed away. But yeah, Nori, I can call him. His sister go to my mother's church. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So these are people. I went to Kenny Anderson's, not well, that I was going to say I went to his wedding reception when he got married the first time, but I found out recently I had made that statement, and then somebody wrote something in the comments, and because was I went to his wedding reception when
Mm-hmm.
he got married to, and I put this in air quotes, Spinderella.
Okay.
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 So I said that, and then somebody in the comments wrote not Spinderella. So then I went back and I looked and I Googled, because that was back in the 90s. Yeah, that was back in the 90s, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened? So then I called him like, can you explain to me how I was at your reception? I'm finding out all these years later you was never married. So
Oh, oh no.
so yeah, they had like what they, I guess people are calling now a spiritual wedding. They never made it official, but we all thought that it was official, but it wasn't. So yeah, that's a retraction. That's why I said I'm learning. You can't even believe half the stuff you see in
You
front of your own eyes.
you're right, because half of them do have, like, I think there's a recent there's a couple that everybody is talking about, are they really married? I can't think of it right now off the top of my head, but half of them, honestly, we find out later that it was a spiritual wedding and not a real
E-
wedding. It's
Exactly.
it's too much at stake. I mean, the finances and
Hmm.
assets. So it's not like Rihanna. Like, seriously, what you gonna do with ASAP Rocky? Are you gonna marry this man? You're a billionaire, girl. Like, huh?
I more so was like, can I get my gift back? Like, can I get my gift back? I'm out here buying presents.
Yeah, but they did have a baby shower though.
Yes, they did.
They did have.
Oh, um, also now I also know Allen Iverson, but he was up in Philly. I being this though, I tell my daughter all the time, I think I grew up in the right time at
You
the right
did.
place.
You
I
did.
literally the places and the things that I went to, like Freaknik and the Plateau and this, that, and third, I thought everybody was doing that. Because it was nothing but a ride down the turnpike. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then when the early 90s hit, we all was doing the college circuit. We would hit between Hampton and Howard and all the different colleges, and P. Diddy was giving different parties at that time down there, and we would just hear about stuff and just get on the road and go. It was just a different time, and it I had fun. I had so much fun.
Girl, I didn't.
But
I was a square. I heard about freaking. I was scared because we would hear that I went to Catholic school, right? So through,
okay,
up through
me
high
too.
school.
I was about
So,
to say me too.
but wait a
Me
minute,
too.
but the Freaknik, I heard that the girls and they would get crazy. The only thing I went to was in Atlanta, and it was a rapper, Jack the Rapper or something.
Hmm.
Remember that? I went to there one time, but at like the Freaknik and all that other stuff, I was just too square. I was like, oh my God, they're just crazy out there. But now that I'm older, I wish I had have experienced those things and I wish I hadn't been so shy and inward. Like how they say, what would you tell your younger self?
Uh-huh.
I would live a little more and not be so guarded and so scary. I would.
It's a way to do it, because I too, as I put it like this, I have to think about my life, and it's like I got to live the best of both worlds. I literally was a good girl,
Mhm.
quote unquote good girl,
Yeah.
that just happened to meet a lot of people, and because of the people that I met, it took me different places, but they were good people. Like, I hung out with a lot of guys, right? But
Mhm.
then so I always felt protected. I never was scared or whatever. I never put myself in any compromising positions where I was disrespected or felt any kind of way or anything like that. It literally was fun. Now, I seen it happen to other people. See, for me, I am one of those people. I don't have to touch the fire to know that it's hot. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
I saw how people would then do different things and it go totally left for them, and they end up in a world of trouble, and like, no, we're not doing all that. I'm still going to school, I'm still getting my education, I'm still doing this.
Mhm.
um I'm not going to do, it was partying and there's partying, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we went to party to dance, we wasn't doing the drugs and the this and the that. So,
Right.
but not to say it wasn't going on, it was going on, but I didn't have to partake in that, and I just had good people around me that always kept me safe. It was almost like I was everybody's little sister. You know what I mean?
So you just lived and enjoyed what you were supposed to do. It's like my
Exactly.
daughter is having the college experience that I never have, and I'm just grateful that she is having it. Having parties and a good time, but responsibly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's nothing
Yes.
wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, we have been on here an hour and 30 minutes. And so I'm gonna say you're my co-host because I know you're gonna be back when I come on. Anybody that is tuning in, thanks to Autumn's mom for helping me keep the show going today. I appreciate it. Joan C, thank you for coming. She's going to be one of the moderators. And we just gonna keep this party going. We need to get it started a little bit earlier, so people, because it's late in certain places. But I
Yes.
thank you, Am's mom. You have just been, girl. Thank you for talking, engaging. You say you don't like to talk, but you have done great. You do fabulous. You would actually do well on your own show.
Well,
So
thank you.
if you ever decide to do it, I want to be a guest because you
I
got a lot.
appreciate that. But that's not going to happen. Trust me. I'll just come on you guys' channel and put my little 2 cents in and dip into the background.
Girl, it's
But
not two
thank you.
cents. You gave us more than 2 cents, girl. You gave us $1 worth. You done broke some exclusive information. Cinderella wasn't really married. It was a spiritual wedding. Thank you for spilling
Well,
the
you
tea
have a
over
good
here.
night. Thank you.
You too. And I will see you guys. I will be in transit. And so this is day 4 of the 30-day challenge. So you guys share if there's anything that you're working on, please share it and let's encourage each other. This is day 4. I'm doing good. So thank you guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. All right, everybody. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.